Welcome, dear viewers, to another enlightening episode of WAYMAKER. Today, we are diving into a profound discussion that explores the divine reality, the existence of God, the Christian worldview, and the rising debate of atheism. We will address some core questions. Is there a God? How does Christianity provide answers to life's deepest questions? And what does atheism offer in contrast? We will unpack these ideas using scriptural verses and insights from theological and philosophical works to provide clarity on why the Christian perspective is robust and meaningful, while atheism, in contrast, presents a mirage, a worldview that, although seemingly appealing to some, lacks substance upon deeper examination. God's personal nature. 1 John 4 verse 8, Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. God, in Christianity, is defined by love. Unlike atheism, which argues that existence is cold and indifferent, Christianity teaches that the universe is governed by a loving and personal God who cares deeply for humanity. The infinite nature of God. God's infinite nature is expressed in Isaiah 40 verse 28, The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. The vastness and complexity of the universe reflect an infinite creator whose existence transcends time and space. Atheism, however, limits existence to the material and finite, ignoring the metaphysical aspects of life that we inherently know to exist: love, morality, justice. 3. The moral argument for God. The next crucial aspect of this discussion is the moral argument for God's existence. This argument suggests that if there is no God, there is no objective standard for morality. What then do atheists base their morality upon? If life is merely a result of chance, what dictates right and wrong? Scripture's moral foundation. The Bible offers a clear moral code. Romans 2 verse 15 says that the law of God is written on our hearts, giving us an innate sense of right and wrong. Whether one acknowledges God or not, his moral code is built into the very fabric of our existence. Psalm 19 verse 7 speaks of God's law being perfect, reviving the soul. The Bible continually references God as the source of all that is good, just, and righteous. Atheism's moral dilemma. Atheism, however, struggles to account for objective morality. If we are all products of evolution and random processes, how do we determine what is right or wrong? Without God, morality becomes relative, leading to a world where truth and ethics are subjective, dependent upon culture or personal preference. Philosophers like C.S. Lewis in his work Mere Christianity argue that the very existence of a moral law within us is evidence of a moral lawgiver, God. Lewis himself transitioned from atheism to Christianity after recognizing that objective moral truths cannot exist in an atheistic worldview. 4. The problem of suffering and evil. One of atheism's primary arguments against the existence of God is the presence of suffering and evil. How can a good, all-powerful God allow suffering? This question is valid and difficult, but Christianity offers a profound response, unlike atheism, which ultimately offers no hope or resolution. The Christian response. The Bible doesn't shy away from addressing suffering. Romans 8 verse 28 says, And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. God doesn't cause suffering but allows it for a greater good, and this verse emphasizes that he can work through it for our benefit. Suffering, from the Christian perspective, is not meaningless. It can serve a purpose, for growth, for character, for deepening our dependence on God. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17 reminds us, For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Atheism's empty explanation. Atheism, on the other hand, offers no hope in the face of suffering. If life is merely the result of chance and there is no God, then suffering is just a natural consequence of an indifferent universe. There is no ultimate justice, no comfort, and no purpose in pain. The historical evidence of Jesus. One of the most compelling aspects of the Christian faith is the historical evidence of Jesus Christ. Jesus' life, death, and resurrection are central to Christianity, and they offer evidence of the divine reality. The Gospel's testimony. The Bible provides 4 distinct accounts of Jesus' life, offering a historical record of his actions and teachings. John 1 verse 14, The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. This speaks to the incarnation, where God took on human form in the person of Jesus. His miracles, teachings, and resurrection offer powerful evidence of God's existence and his involvement in human history. Atheists often argue that God does not exist because they see no empirical or scientific evidence supporting his existence. For them, belief in God seems akin to believing in something without proof, and modern science, which relies on observable and measurable data, does not offer tangible evidence of a divine being. The absence of direct, undeniable proof of God's existence makes atheists skeptical. They also point to natural explanations for phenomena that were once attributed to God, such as evolution and cosmology, as reasons to doubt the need for a divine creator. In their view, human understanding of the universe through science diminishes the necessity of invoking God to explain our existence. Another major argument from atheists is rooted in the problem of evil. Atheists argue that if God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good, then the existence of immense suffering and evil in the world is incompatible with such a being. This argument challenges the Christian perspective, questioning how a benevolent God could allow such pain and injustice. For atheists, the existence of evil suggests either that God does not exist or, if he does, he is not the omnibenevolent figure that Christian theology claims. However, where atheists might be overlooking a key point is in their demand for empirical evidence of God's existence. Christian philosophers argue that God's nature transcends the physical universe, and thus God cannot be subject to the same methods of scientific inquiry used for natural phenomena. Many Christians point to metaphysical arguments, such as the cosmological and teleological arguments, which suggest that the universe's existence and order point to an intelligent designer. Additionally, the experience of personal transformation and faith is often cited as a form of evidence that resonates beyond scientific scrutiny. From a Christian perspective, faith and reason are not mutually exclusive. Many Christians believe that scientific inquiry reveals the beauty and complexity of God's creation, seeing no conflict between science and faith. While atheists often claim that belief in God is irrational, Christians argue that faith provides answers to the deep questions of meaning, morality, and Christians also contend that atheism often overlooks the inherent limitations of human understanding. The complexity of the universe, consciousness, and morality suggests that there is more to reality than what we can currently observe and measure. For Christians, God is the grounding of these realities, and faith fills in the gaps that science, at its current stage, cannot fully explain. While atheism often relies on skepticism, Christianity offers a framework that embraces both reason and faith, acknowledging that some truths may lie beyond the reach of human logic and empirical methods. In conclusion, the debate between atheism and Christianity often revolves around differing views on the nature of evidence, the existence of evil, and the limits of human understanding. Atheists see the lack of empirical evidence as a strong case against God, while Christians argue that God's existence transcends the limitations of science and human reasoning. Both sides present compelling arguments, but the conversation deepens when we acknowledge that the questions of existence, purpose, and morality are not easily resolved by either side and demand thoughtful reflection on both the material and the spiritual aspects of life. External historical sources. In addition to the Bible, historical sources such as the writings of Josephus and Tacitus provide corroboration of Jesus' existence and his impact on the world. Christianity is not just based on spiritual belief but on historical events that point to the reality of God intervening in human affairs. 6. The Mirage of Atheism. Atheism presents itself as a rational and scientific worldview, but as we've explored, it often fails to provide meaningful answers to the biggest questions of life. Where did we come from? Why is there evil? What is the meaning of life? Atheism, in the end, is a mirage. It promises clarity but leaves us thirsty for answers that it cannot provide. Christianity, in contrast, offers a coherent and satisfying explanation for our existence, the universe, morality, and hope beyond death. Hebrews 11 verse 6, and without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Faith is not blind belief but a trust built upon evidence and experience, something atheism cannot offer. As we draw to a close, let us remember that the divine reality is not just an abstract concept but the very foundation of our existence. God is not only real but actively involved in our lives, offering love, purpose, and eternal hope. Atheism, with its denial of the divine, leaves us with nothing but a hollow worldview that cannot answer life's most pressing questions. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of God, Christianity, and the Mirage of Atheism. If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to subscribe to WAYMAKER for more videos that dive deep into faith, scripture, and the biggest questions of life. God bless you. References: Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, for atheistic contrast. The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. To provide a robust, well-researched video script, here are some additional sources and references that can be used to enhance the discussion. Books: The Reason for God, by Timothy Keller. Keller provides a powerful case for the existence of God and critiques the secular worldview, making a compelling argument for Christianity. God's Undertaker: Has Science Buried God? By John Lennox. This book addresses the intersection of science and religion, providing insightful arguments on how belief in God is not only rational but aligns with scientific reasoning. The Problem of Pain, by C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis explores the question of suffering and how it fits into the Christian understanding of God's goodness, contrasting it with atheistic perspectives. The Miracle of Theism: Arguments for and Against the Existence of God, by J.L. Mackie. This book offers an atheistic perspective on the arguments for God's existence, which can be used to contrast the Christian view. Academic Research and Articles: Does God Exist? Arguments for the Existence of God, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. This article provides a thorough overview of various philosophical arguments for God's existence, including the moral, cosmological, and teleological arguments. Link: Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Christianity and the Problem of Evil, Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy. This article explores the theological and philosophical challenges posed by the problem of evil and how Christianity responds to these challenges. Link: Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy. The New Atheism, by John Hort, Commonweal Magazine. The Problem of Evil, The Problem of Evil by Michael Tuley, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. A comprehensive philosophical analysis of the problem of evil and how it challenges the concept of an all-powerful and benevolent God. Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Cosmological and Teleological Arguments for God's Existence. The Callum Cosmological Argument by William Lane Craig discusses the existence of God through the lens of the universe's origin. Reasonable Faith: Atheism and Empirical Skepticism, Why There Is No God, Simple Responses to 20 Common Arguments for the Existence of God by Amin Navabi, a popular atheist perspective arguing against the existence of God based on the absence of empirical evidence. Amazon link. The Compatibility of Science and Faith, The Language of God, A Scientist Presents Evidence for Belief by Francis Collins. This book discusses how faith and science can coexist harmoniously. Amazon link. Limits of Human Understanding and the Role of Faith, Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, a Christian apologetic work that discusses the rationality of faith and its necessity in understanding ultimate truths. Amazon link. You must acknowledge that these resources offer a robust foundation for delving into both the atheist and Christian viewpoints regarding the existence of God, as well as the associated philosophical inquiries. This article critiques the movement of New Atheism and argues that its opposition to religion often misrepresents the core beliefs of Christianity. Link: Commonweal Magazine. The Fine-Tuning Argument for God's Existence, Biola University's Center for Christian Thought. Discusses the cosmological argument that the universe's precise conditions for life point to the existence of a creator. Link: Biola University. Websites: Cross-Examined, a Christian apologetics website that provides resources and articles on defending the existence of God, responding to atheistic arguments, and Christian worldview. Link: Cross-Examined. Reasonable Faith by William Lane Craig. A treasure trove of philosophical and theological resources where Dr. Craig debates atheism, theism, and the rationality of Christianity. Link: Reasonable Faith. The Veritas Forum. Offers lectures and discussions at leading universities, examining how Christianity interacts with the big questions of life. Link: The Veritas Forum. Articles from Christian magazines. Is God Dead? Not at all. Christianity Today. This article explores why faith in God continues to thrive in an increasingly secular world and responds to atheistic critiques. Link: Christianity Today. Why Atheism is a Mirage, Relevant Magazine. A Christian commentary on the growing popularity of atheism and its limitations in answering life's most important questions. Link: Relevant Magazine.